Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first ever Division 3 event here in F1 Total. We have got a test race around Mexico on the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for our newly established third division. My name is VNT Felix One. I'll be taking you through the action tonight, and I'm joined by Sully. Welcome.
Hello, hello. Yeah, it's been a while since I was the last time in the commentary box, but yeah, I'm very excited for this new division.
Yeah, it's been a long time since the last time we had an expansion. Season 10 is when we opened Division 2. We're now in Season 17. Of course, Division 3 doesn't start officially until next season. This is just us, from now until the end of the season of Season 17. So for the next 4 races, every Tuesday we're gonna have a test race with with drivers from the current provisional Division 3 grid. We'll see if they have a suitable pace for Division 3, if you've selected the good grid, and yeah, just see how it goes, really. So the numbers, of course, right now are not amazing. We've got 9 drivers for tonight's race, which I would say in a proper league race I'd be a bit disappointed with, but for a rather spontaneous first test race, it's not too bad, especially because we had a couple of guys. Lanky, for example, he wanted to race, but he has a issue with his game right now. He couldn't get into a lobby, so we might see him at some point if he gets that fixed today. Otherwise, hopefully he gets it fixed for tomorrow. Of course, this also doubles as a bit of a practice session for these guys, at least for those who are racing in Division 2 and Division 1 as well. Same track. Yeah, tomorrow we've got the Division 2 race, so it's a bit of practice. Yeah, just getting used to the track, and for us, we can see who might be able to perform as well in Division 2 and Division 1. In terms of the drivers that we've got tonight, we've got some familiar faces, we've got some returning faces, and we've got, well, one completely fresh driver to F1 Total. The first driver on the lap is Ossie, a well-known quantity, of course, in Division 2. It's been a main in Division 1 as well this season, which he has decided to give up for next season so he can focus on Division 3 and 2. Although Ossie is one of the drivers who I was unsure about if he might not be too fast for Division 3. That's something to keep an eye on, especially over the 4 test races, but I think also starting next season, just in the first, I don't know, 5 races or so. If we see someone or a couple of drivers who are quite far ahead, we'll step in fairly quickly and just make sure Division 3 stays competitive. The next driver that's on the lap is Viral. Also, and I would say the driver I am most confident in saying is probably a little bit too fast to be here. But we thought it's a test race, that's what they're here for, we'll give it a try. And there's Lanky, great news. Lanky hasn't made it into the lobby after all. Tradition at this point really for Lanky and Phantom, well, of course Phantom. And he's gone. Never mind.
Okay.
Phantom not
Yeah,
allowed into Division 3, and who would have thought?
I tried to invite him. Maybe he was able to join to my invite, but yeah.
Still fucked. That's unfortunate. After Viral, Actionric, a well-known participant of Division 2 and Division 1, pretty much always there, but you don't really notice him much, really. He's well, not to be mean, but he's quite slow. That's just what it boils down to. He's always quite far away from the field, so hopefully Division 3 will see more of him actually in the battles, getting involved in the fights, and yeah, that's really what I want to see in Division 3, to give those guys who usually you don't see much of, especially in terms of fighting for podiums and points and wins, as JM is retired from the session. JM, of course, a legend of Division 2, I would say. Back in the day, season 12, I think, he had a three-peat of race wins, went for a late title run, and he recently rejoined the league. I've got absolutely no idea what to expect from JM pace-wise. I don't think he even sent in time trials for his lineup. He just asked me to come back, and I threw him back into Division 2. I figured he hasn't raced in so long, he can't be too fast for Division 2. For Division 3, we'll see. That's what these test races are for. Always currently on pole position, of course, also a driver we know very, very well, been around for a couple of seasons now as well. Quite a while, I think. A very solid midfield driver in Division 2. And then our new face, Akusin, today in the Haas. For today, the cars are just freestyle pick, whatever you like. Whoever comes into the lobby first can pick first. Yeah, Akusin, a new driver in the league. His very first race in F1 Total is tonight's test race. So, a completely fresh slate, and I've got no idea what to expect from him either. Thomas, you might not recognize the name, but that's because he changed his PSN at some point. And Lanky is in again, hopefully this time to stay. That is Thog456, might remember him from a couple of seasons ago in Division 2, also one of the backmarkers, and together with Mihai, who also is one of the drivers in Division 3, I think one of the most notorious drivers in Division 2 for all the wrong reasons. Thog actually has the highest DNF percentage, which has earned him a spot in Division 3. After that we've got Flavors, also a driver we see quite a lot of in Division 2. He's got very, very good quali pace, especially at times, but it really is limited to at times, and he usually does drop then quite far down in the races. So definitely also a driver to keep an eye out. And finally we've got Bazooka. Sorry, Sully, you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to say that this will be a very interesting thing in this new division, because you will see some drivers far up front than they usually are, and it's very interesting to see how they will behave, because you obviously sitting in second and catching the first, you drive differently and behave differently as if you're sitting in seventh or something. So this will be also a very interesting fact to watch at.
Yeah, I think we've got a few different drivers where we've got drivers like JM, of course, who used to be quite fast in Division 2. We've got guys like Bazooka as well. He, a couple of seasons ago, he was really, really strong. This game, not so much. If I go through the driver lineup channel, we've got currently 23 drivers signed up for Division 3. This race was very spontaneous, where we put out a check-in like 2 days ago. So, loads of people, unfortunately, weren't able to make it at short notice. But if I look, for example, I know Harley has done league racing for a long, long time. I met him back on F1 2021 when we were in the same PSGL tier, so he used to be quite good. I think he, for example, can cope with that pressure pretty well. Dylan, absolutely rapid back in the day, like top of Division 1 pace, but he's had an unbelievable fall-off. Edwin, the reigning Division 2 champion, is actually, as it stands, in Division 3. He's also one of those guys who we're unsure about. I mean, if we look only at his performance this season, no chance you would say he's too fast. But when you have a literal champion only one season ago, I know it's a different game, but he clearly can't be completely talentless. So he's also one we keep an eye out for sure. Well, we'll keep an eye on everyone, but there are ones that we've sort of picked out before, and when we think, maybe. As it stands, well, 2 seconds from Owais to Thomas, from 1st to 7th. Thomas currently on the mediums, actually. Bazooka, the only driver left in the, well, actually driving in the lobby without lap time, JM. I think he retired in the pits, I'm not sure what the thinking behind that is.
Yeah, I didn't see anything either. So I can't really tell. Currently only Viral is on a flying lap.
Yeah, 4.5 tenths up in the first sector alone. What I'm quite interested as well in to see is, I think these drivers have a lot more variance from track to track, if that makes sense. Like, in the top guys of Division 1, or just in general the top guys in the game, you can sort of expect they'll be fast on every track. But if you go into sort of more casual leagues, drivers really do differ quite a lot in which tracks are strong, and that can be quite interesting. It's a little bit of a thing in Division 2, I would say. There are some guys, maybe a Sean or a Kuko or Phantom maybe, who if they have the right weather conditions and the right track conditions and it falls their way, they can be rapid, and then on other tracks they're like a second off the pace. And I think you'll see that even stronger, going another step back into Division 3. I mean, if I think of Flavors, for example, or Mihai as well, he's one of those guys who... I mean, Mihai literally has a pole position in Division 2, and even though he's like the most backmarker driver, if you think of a Division 2 backmarker, you think of Mihai. Mainly because he's been here for so long. But he has those races where he seems one of the fastest in the division, and then the week after he's back to being like 12th. So it will be really unpredictable, I think. Bazooka is also now finally on the lap. Also a driver I would keep an eye out for. He's so far the last couple of seasons been a bit quiet for Bazooka in Division 2. But he showed rapid pace. Well, I think F123 it was. So yeah, 2 games ago at this point. Of course, I would say Division 3, if you feel like you have a bit more of a chance of actually winning, it might just sort of scratch an itch and you find a bit more pace again, because you're actually maybe more motivated, because you feel it's possible. So we might see some of these guys also have an uptick in pace, I think. I wouldn't be surprised in that, at least.
Yeah, I know that from guys like Aussie and Viral, since I'm friends with them in real life as well. And I know that they're very motivated just for the fact that they've been given a chance to drive here in this division. And I think this will be a thing for a lot of drivers in here.
I mean, for Viral and Aussie, that might be a bad thing then if they're too motivated. If I'm already sort of on the edge of whether they might be too fast, and then they get more motivation, they might get even faster. Maybe they should drive slowly on purpose. Stop trying. Of course, I mean we don't want to encourage that. We want drivers to be trying their best here. That's the way we get the most accurate, the most fair grid. Flavors right now quite far out in front with a 15.5. Next car is always in the 15.9. We do seem to have a bit of a top 5 group here. 6/10 from Flavors to Bazooka. In Division 2, Division 1 terms, I would say that's a very large gap, but I think that's quite that's within the realms of a sort of possibility in terms of having a race that can be quite exciting, I think, because these drivers have a lot more inconsistency in their lap times, and they'll make a lot more mistakes. So when you have a 6/10 gap over 1 lap, the lap after, Bazooka can be 6/10 faster than Flavors, I think, at least. But right now, yeah, Flavors definitely setting the pace by quite a margin. 3.5, well, over 3.5 tenths, I think. Yeah. To Owise in second place. Viral not far behind. Aussie, Bazooka, Akusin, Action Rick, and Thomas.
I mean, yeah, 2/10 gap from 2nd to 5th. It's not that much, to be fair, for 4 positions.
Yeah, it's very close in well, of course in the midfield, but kind of is the midfield when it's only 9 drivers. But yeah, from Owise to Bazooka. Viral now on, I imagine, his last lap, 4 minutes to go. He can maybe one more on the same tire if this one isn't good enough for him. And lots of curb use there through turn 2. A 15 point in 9.56 to beat if he wants to improve, a 15.548 to beat if he wants pole position, and a 61 thousandths gained in the first sector. And that was close to track limits. I feel like that could have been a violation if the game decided to be a bit mean. Definitely was on the white line, I would argue. If not slightly over it. But now through the S section, should be fully flat through here. Gets loads of understeer though. And after the middle sector, Viral is up by 3/10. That will put him
close.
Comfortably P1, and he has a good chance if he gains another 10th in this last sector to beat Flavors as well. So from the last corner, he's got loads of ERS left he can use down towards the line. And for Viral, that's a 1:15.575. It is not quite enough, but very close. Thomas on his last run as well now, just coming over the line. 17.984, his previous best lap. And as it stands, that would put him 2.4 seconds off pole. I'm sure he's going to want to improve on that and get a lot closer to the likes of Flavors and Viral. And that looked a pretty decent turn 1, 2 and 3, I would say. Of course, using loads of ERS down these long straight, picking a bit of slipstream there from the Haas that's almost completely stopped. And Thog, yeah, with a 3.5 times gain in the first sector alone. Another car over the line there, that is the Williams of Aussie, currently in 4th place. Keep an eye on him as well. Once he comes towards the sector 1, I'll quickly switch over and see his sector time if I can. But for now, we'll stay with Thog as he's coming to the sector 2. And that is going to be... Take a bit of a wide line through there. A 5.5 tenth improvement. Aussie coming wide out of the... third corner there, but getting away with it, and in the first sector he is up by a 10th. Thomas over the line, or through the final corner I should say. A massive improvement so far. Should put him ahead of Action Rick. Has he got a chance to beat Akusin as well? 9/10 gain in the end, and that puts him 7th. Still 4/10 of Akusin. Not quite enough, but within striking distance I would say. Flavors on his last one as well, now picking up slipstream from Bazooka there. 27,000 down in the first despite the slipstream. Akusin also on his last lap. Aussie has abandoned the lap, he's 2 seconds down. No improvement coming from Aussie. And it could be Flavors to take the first pole position in this...
looks like maybe Aussie will try another run.
Yeah, he's got time for it. Good point.
Yeah,
Flavors
1 minute
is
left.
down a 10th. Unless he absolutely nails the final sector, there won't be an improvement from Flavors this time around. And he doesn't have ERS to improve next lap. So that 15.548 could be all that Flavors can do. But that was a great final sector, I would say. Over the line. And he does improve, a 15.478 for Flavors. Viral in the pit lane will not be improving. Always an Aussie on laps. Bazooka starting one as well. Akusin coming into the last sector, 83 thousandths down on the previous best. He has got Thomas right ahead of him. Hopefully Thomas gets out the way. Or goes quickly enough that he doesn't get in the way in the first place. That's even better. Akusin over the line. That's a 16.406. 2/10 gained. Stays in P6 though. Moves closer to the pack ahead. But it's not quite enough. Aussie at the end of sector 2. What does he got for us? Just over a 10th improvement. Always behind him. Also just under a 10th improvement. Then we've got Action Rick. 4/10 gained in the middle sector. Flavors 4 seconds down. No improvement coming from him, of course. He did his lap earlier, now out of ERS. Over the line goes Aussie. Stays in 4th despite gaining 2/10. Always. He gains 3/10 and stays in 3rd. Bazooka exactly 1,000 up after the middle sector. Has he got a chance to get his teammate off of pole position? Or maybe at least get the second Ferrari further up the field? He does improve into the 115s, 15.994, but stays in 5th position. And with that, Thomas is the last one still going.
A bit of a wobble there. Bazooka at the exit of the last corner that maybe cost him 4th place.
Yeah, it's fairly close between Aussie and Bazooka, so that could be the reason for it for sure. So Thomas over the line, and that's going to be a 87,000 improvement, puts him into the 116s, but he stays in 7th position. And with that, qualifying is over. It is Flavors on pole position in the first ever Division 3 race with a 15.475. But at Mexico, do you even really want pole position with that long of a run down towards turn 1? We'll see. Viral in second place, less than a tenth behind, and then, well, only half a tenth to Overwise. Fairly small gaps than the top three. The first three by just over a tenth they're separated. Then Aussie, the 15.931 puts him to fourth position. Bazooka into fifth. The last one in the 115's 15.994. Akusin on his Division 3 on his F1 Total debut, 16.406. It's F1's Division 3 debut. And then a half a second to Thomas in 7th place. Another half a second to Action Rick in 8th. JM without a lap time.
I mean, to be fair, this half a second gap between the top 5 could be the same gap in Div 1 and Div 2, so it's not that much of a gap between them.
Yeah, and I would say I expected gaps to be a little bit larger than they would be in the higher tiers. Because, yeah, like I said, the lower driver skill level, the more they will vary in the lap times. So even if they are on the same skill level, they might just be a second apart anyway, because they make mistakes in the lap a lot more than a guy who has, I don't know, 3,000 hours on the F1 game in the last week.
But what I'm interested to see, because a lot of these guys are driving on controller, which means I think that we will see a lot more strategy playing a bigger part.
That's a very good point. Yeah, they struggle a lot more with tire wear, these guys do. Of course, that happens as well in Division 2. I mean, we've seen Wilson this as well, but we don't really notice it that much when it happens in the battle in the midfield somewhere for the lower points or something. You don't really think about their strategies. But now that they are the guys fighting for the podiums and race wins, it will be quite important. And one driver who has a big upper hand there is Overwise. We've seen him, especially at the start of the season, quite a few times pull off some, yeah, miracle strategies with unbelievable tire management, really, and making the tire last for much longer than other drivers were able to. That can be very important for him. I think around Mexico it's a fairly easy one-stop anyway, so it won't matter today, but it certainly is a good point for other tracks, maybe Abu Dhabi at the end of the season. That could become quite important. But I think for today we've got a fairly straightforward race in terms of strategy, a medium-hard strategy. I don't think we'll be seeing any safety cars or red flags or anything of the sort. A bit too small of a grid for that, realistically. But 5 red lights for the first time in Division 3 of F1 Total. It's lights out, and away we go. Flavors on the right-hand side gets away pretty decently, but now, of course, the slipstream all the way on this massive straight that was down. The first corner will kick in, and Viral on the right-hand side, Always on the left. Heading on towards turn 1. Viral breaks latest on the inside. Flavors holds on from the middle. Does he? No. Always now swooping on the outside for turn 3. That's Akusin coming off the track there as he goes around the outside of Ossidai. And now Flavors pulls back ahead of Always down towards the fourth corner of the track. Always has the inside line. You would think he has the advantage, but Flavors swoops around the outside, turns to the inside for the next corner, and he secures the position. A battle on for the 8th position as well, the Action Rig and JM, as JM gets a better traction out of the corner and moves up into 8th place.
Yeah, good defense from Flavors going into turn 1, because he had Viral on the inside and Always on the outside, so he didn't really have much space to work with. But yeah, he managed it pretty well to just lose the position to Viral.
Yeah, I expected honestly that he'd lose both positions at once, but no, he managed to actually hold on to at least P2, and now he's doing a good job of staying with Viral. He's very close behind him. Meanwhile, Akusin putting lots of pressure on Always. Bazooka and Thomas opting for the hard starts. Oh, that's
big move for Always.
Well off. Loses position.
He had a big moment coming out of the last corner, and then Akusin just...
And with 3 wide to turn 1.
Yeah,
oh, 2 wide, okay, Akusin pulled out, but Aussie and Always going for it. Oh, and Akusin, with a beautiful switchback, takes perfect advantage of Aussie and Always, battling very harshly to turn 1. Some ghosting involved there as well, but always with a bit of straight line speed pulls back ahead. Aussie sends it back up the inside under braking. These guys are really going for it. Lap 2 of Division 3 and we are already seeing some almighty battles. Of course now the entire train in behind is caught up. Bazooka, Jay and Thomas. Action Rig also in the DRS range once more. Flavors and Rival though, they are pulling ahead out front. As Akusin gets a 3-second time penalty. Already having received multiple warnings in this race. Flavors now. Is he close enough to Rival to go for a move down towards turn 1? That's a lot of sliding on the rear on the apex of the final corner. It's cost him the exit completely. So Rival will hold on to the lead, at least for this lap. Otherwise now right back into the DRS range of Flavors. He didn't have DRS detection point, or within the second detection point, so we should have it next lap I reckon. He's now a lot closer, once more. And a whole pack building in behind Akusin in the battle for 4th place here. Bazooka and Thomas of course playing the long game. On those hards, they'll have the advantage later on. When everybody else pushes on the hard, they'll have the mediums. And can make up those places. Aussie, up the inside on Akusin. So late on the brakes. Oh! That's calamity, as Aussie and Akusin lock wheels. The F1 game physics doing the rest of the work. And they both go straight on. From there on, the cars are not gonna turn anymore.
Looks like Akusin wanted to switch back Aussie, but Aussie just closed the door on the apex, and then they touched and.
Oh,
Aussie!
Ooh, I think he's gotten away with that one. He went into the wall, not heavily, thankfully for him, and the front wing doesn't seem damaged. But he has made his race a whole lot more difficult just then.
Yeah, probably tires just overheated. So he has to drive more carefully for at least half a lap for the tires to cool down again.
Always, all old work of Flavors down towards turn 1. Have we got a move for the second position in this race? The Sauber sending up the inside, banging wheels with the Ferrari now. Around the outside of turn 2, back to the inside for turn 3. And Always gets the door shot on him. Flavors, an aggressive defense. Bazooka, he just did the fast lap of the race on hards. Now he's catching up the back of Always. He will definitely like what he's seeing up ahead. Thomas and Action Rig locked in the battle for 6th here as well. Akusin and Aussie having to recover from that mistake early on. Viral has now pulled a second on Flavors. He's out of the DRS range. We'll see if he can keep that lead. If he can keep running away with this race. Right now he's just outside DRS range. He's got a bit more ERS than Flavors as well, which will play to his advantage. And Flavors overtaken by Always, as he's very slow down this way. I think he might have let Always through. Not sure why. It's a bit early for DRS games, and if you're trying to DRS swap to work together to catch Viral, intentionally slowing down doesn't help. And Always is already cleared Flavors by 9/10 coming up in the straight. Flavors has got DRS on him, which will help him defend from his teammate. So no ulti coming from Bazooka on Flavors. So worth mentioning actually, the only drivers in this race who have to worry about double stacks are the 2 Ferrari drivers. Flavors and Bazooka. Everybody else picked the team that no one else picked. Oh no, Williams actually.
Williams.
Yeah, Jay and Aussie, my bad. Okay, they actually have to worry about double stacks more then, because they are at least on the same strategy. Flavors and Bazooka, Flavors will pit significantly earlier than Bazooka anyway. As Aussie and Akusin are once again battling through turns 4 and 5 and banging wheels all over the place. There really is no love lost here in Division 3. Really just going for it at every opportunity, which we love to see. Aussie has pulled ahead for the moment. And Flavors, I think, has had enough. The first spin of Division 3, and I think it's caught both Ferraris.
As well.
Have they had a crash, the two of them? They are both spun around the exit of the S section. Disaster for Flavors and Bazooka. And have they picked up damage from that as well? I'm getting terrible camera angles right now, I can't tell.
Yep. petition to Codemasters to implement replays
That'd be
into
lovely.
spectator mode.
I think Bazooka has got damage because he's crawling on the track, but the game won't show me.
Bazooka has damage ups. The
okay, he's into the pits.
Front left end plate is missing. And okay, both end plates are missing.
Flavors also is missing an end plate on the front right as Akuzin jumps over the curb at turn 1. And we've got another crash! This time it's JM and Always, I think. JM seems to be fine, but Always was spun around in the grass. What is going on right now? It's all kicking off on this 6th lap. Bazooka now coming out of the pits with a fresh tire and a fresh front wing. His teammate Flavors keeping, for at least for the moment, he's going to keep going with the damaged wing. I think it isn't too bad and he has to pit right now. He can keep going until he has enough laps completed on this one that he can finish the race in the hard.
I'm already loving this division just for the fact to see Action Rig chasing another driver for P4.
It is a lovely thing to see.
And this is obviously not in a disrespectful way, but it's just good to see.
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult to say without feeling mean, but the truth is these guys are slow. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you don't spend your entire life on this game. Flavors now into the pits for a swap on the hard tires. No wing change. And I'm gonna bet that he wanted to change the wing and didn't put the thing to yes. Action Rig with a 3-second time penalty for movement, which I don't think I've ever seen Action Rig get a track limit penalty in my life. I swear. He's never pushed. This is actually the first time he's trying, I think. The first time he's seeing another car and thinking, yes, I can have a race. Because for so long, I think, and now Thomas as well, they're both for sure pushing quite a bit here. Getting issues with track limits. They've got Aussie as well. Chasing after them.
Action Rig, wheel, is he driving a wheel?
It looks like it, yeah. I think at least he has a wheel. See, Action Rig has been in this league for so long. I know almost nothing about the guy. It's weird. He doesn't message much on the Discord. But he's always there for the race. But you don't see him much in the race either. He's just there.
Actually,
so it's nice now that we have the chance to shine a light.
You're a legend of this league.
I agree. It's nice that we get to shine a light on some of the forgotten heroes of the league, I would say. Those the battle for the win. Viral has been almost caught by JM now. Two of them definitely, well, Always as well. He showed, well, he has quite good pace. He just had a moment in the grass. I'm a little bit disappointed, I would say, that we sort of lost Flavors in terms of the battle for the win, because I think he was a good guideline of who I think is a driver who I'm quite confident is in Div 3. We still have Always up there, who I'm quite confident is a Div 3 level driver. For sure near the front, but...
I mean, if I... Oh, Jam! Ooh, and he keeps out.
Oh, he's out. Oh, well, that's not good. Viral might just won the race.
He just okay. With time penalty will play a thing later on the race, so we will see. But yeah, JM just too much steering input into the S section, and just the front end just came and there's nothing to do about it. And JM in the pits
and also with a massive gridlock in the pits. You can see the rust on JM. It's been a while, I think, since he's actually... I'm not sure how he's been racing other leagues, but at least in terms of F1 Total, you can tell he needs a bit of time to get back into it, for sure.
Yeah, I think the last time he raced was with me as a teammate in Div 2.
Yeah, because that's the season that you two started at Williams, and then JM won the Constructors' Championship by having done like 3 races at the start of the season.
No, not even. I think he's only done 1.
Yeah, you had you had JM, then you had Wolf and Jim, and then you had Phantom, right?
Yes, but I think JM just did the season opener and then had to drop out. and I think he rejoined in the meantime again, but he never did a race.
He never fully left. He's been in reserve his entire time. He just didn't race. But I think so. I don't remember. But yeah, he's back now, full time. He's taken a full-time Aston Martin seat in Division 2, and he's well, on probation in Division 3. That's a term we've used for Viral, Edwin, Aussie, JM. Probably put Dylan on this as well. He used to be absolutely rapid, but I've not seen Dylan race much this game. Another driver who also both Dylan and Jonathan at the start of this game just struggled so much. Controller is very, very slow this year compared to the wheel, and those two couldn't handle it to be so slow. They both retired from league racing. Division 3 has brought them back. Both Jonathan and Dylan, as it stands, are on the grid. So I'm excited to see if what they've still got. Hopefully they're not too fast. I'd like to see him in Division 3. At the moment, Always is catching back up to Viral. He's within 3 seconds once more. Gap coming down, and the penalty that Viral has at the moment would cost him the race win.
And since we've already seen the first pit stops, we can say that at least the lower end from current positions won't do a one-stop.
Well, yeah, the top 5, of course, they haven't pit yet. I mean, I think Flavors, well, want to change the wing. Bazooka did change the wing. I think Akusin, I'm not sure if he had a wing damage or if he just two-stopping. And JM, he also didn't have damage, right? So I think, yeah, mostly these guys are just doing a strategical two-stop. We've got a battle for 3rd place. Thomas is doing a good job of staying with Aussie, and Action Rig is also not far behind. So the battle for 3rd here between Aussie, Thomas, and Action Rig. I must say, I'm positively surprised by Action Rig. I did not think you'd be within touching distance of Aussie on pace.
Yeah, and he passed him like a couple of laps ago. So it's not like he passed him last straight. So yeah, it's good to see this. And even even another thing for Action Rig is that he's keeping in touch with Thomas, because right now I think that the hards should be faster than the mediums. I think they will start to drop off, or
for sure, I think at this point
dropped off already, but he keeps his pace and stays there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Thomas is I've not seen him race in so long that I have no idea where he is at pace-wise. Back then, of course, he wasn't very good. Right now, he's doing decently. Of course, we've got a fairly...
Wasn't it a thing that you went no assist on F122?
I'm not sure if that was thought, but I remember someone tried. I think might have been Mihai, actually. I think Mihai tried it at some point as well, and he completely, of course, was not able to do it. Aussie in the pits at the end of lap 11. He's gonna come out probably behind Akusin. Yep, Aussie coming out in 8th position here. And the closest battle on track right now between Thomas and Action Rig, Always is slowly but surely catching up to Viral.
I mean, we still have some couple of test races in front of us, but if we can already start doing some predictions, I would put my money on Always. Because he has improved so much on this game.
Most heavy hitters aren't even racing today. I'm not gonna put my money on anyone at this point. I've not seen Dylan. I've not seen Edwin. Well, I've seen Edwin in Division 2, but I think it's different. If you're fighting for a podium, it's just different than if you're fighting for P8 or something. So I don't think the Division 2 performance will carry over much. Viral is in the pits, by the way.
And he will come out in front of Flavors, which maybe helped Viral a bit there because, yeah, he held back JM probably just enough to keep him behind.
Yeah, I'd
coming
agree.
out of the pits.
But I mean, if we're gonna mention some names, I mean, I think it's a fairly big group of drivers who I think have potential to fight for the championship, which also is very much reminiscent of early Division 2. Well, even still nowadays in Division 2, it's a little bit like that. But back then, in the first season of Division 2, I had a short list of like 10 drivers who I thought might win something, because you just have no idea. And it's a little bit similar right now. I mean, if I go through the list, Harley, I reckon I've not seen Harley race in years, but he was decent. Lanky, of course, Dylan, Mihai, Jonathan, Bazooka, Edwin, Viral, Aussie, JM. That's 9 drivers already. And then of course there's the guys who the new ones I don't know. Yeah, Dawn and Akuzin. Of course, well, I've seen some of Akuzin now. I've seen 14 laps to be exact. I don't think I can put a judgment based on that only. So it's a very exciting thing when you have these new divisions. As JM is going for the move on Action Rig. Of course, Action Rig still up in the pit lane. Him and Thomas, the last one, still going from the start. So JM moves up into 3rd place. Viral on the back of Thomas. And it's about to reclaim the lead of this race. Always coming out 3 seconds behind that whole train. Right now we've got Viral, Thomas, JM, Action Rig and Flavors all on wildly different strategies. All together out on track. As Thomas picks up a 3-second time penalty. I think his 2nd one of this race. 3rd one.
Now JM being stuck behind Thomas through Sector 2 will probably cost him quite a bit of time with Thomas going off the track.
God, look at how much dirt there is on Thomas's car. If you just go to the onboard camera.
That's true.
My guy has been everywhere but the asphalt. Which is crazy. Is there even gravel tubs around here? How's he got so much gravel on the car? I couldn't tell you where to find gravel around here.
Maybe someone should tell Thomas that we are not driving rally here.
I mean, he's on the podium right now, so it's clearly working. Maybe it's matter. Maybe I should try it.
Yeah.
Flavors with the move on Action Rig. DRS pass down towards turn 1. But they make contact in the braking zone. Hopefully Action Rig didn't get damaged from that. He tapped Flavors in the rear there. And now the exit Flavors also rocketing past Thomas. Up into 3rd. At this point, I mean, I think Viral and Allwise are the ones who are going to finish P1 and 2. Apart from that, no clue. Literally, I have no idea who's going to finish where at this point, because the strategies are so different. And I have no idea, for example, JM, if he's going to the end. Aussie, I think he is. Then Akuzin, same, no idea if he's going to the end. It's a very interesting strategy situation right now. As we have got Allwise in Action Rig with a battle coming out of the S section into the stadium section now. And Allwise comes on top, now staring at the back of Thomas. We'll have DRS on the main straight, but he's losing so much time to Viral. Of course, he's pitted a lap later than him, but if you look at the gap to leader, it was under 3 seconds, now it's 8.5. He has lost 5 seconds in this pit stop phase, has Allwise. More than 5 seconds. More like 6,
Yes.
it was like 2 seconds behind, now it's 8. Yeah, he's lost 6 seconds, has Allwise. Unbelievable.
5 to 6 seconds, yeah. So this would be a tough thing. But yeah, if he just keeps it on track, then the race isn't over yet.
For sure. I mean, he only needs to be within 3 seconds to have a chance of winning this race as it stands, with the penalty hanging over Viral's head.
Yeah, the top 3 having 3 seconds each. But with half a race still to come, we might see a bit more.
Yeah, we are so early in this race still. It feels like a bit later. since quite a few things already happened in this Grand Prix. Always now on the back of Flavors. And that is the battle for third place for the last podium spot in this Grand Prix. After that, a 4-second gap to JM, who, yeah, cause I'm not sure what he's actually going to be doing on strategy. If JM is going to the end here, or if he has to pit, I reckon he's pitting again, but I wouldn't want to be nailed down on that.
I mean, he has 8 laps old tarts. 4 laps older compared to Virus Hearts.
Would be 27 laps he goes to the end. Sounds quite long.
Yeah. But if JM pits again, or has to pit, then Flavors has to pit as well.
I'm fairly certain Flavors is pitting. Flavors and Bazooka I'm quite certain are doing one more stop. JM and Akusin I'm unsure about. Thomas probably also one more stop. I don't think that meeting is making the end. Is always taking third place. Action Rick is also on the back of Bazooka here in a battle for 8th. Action Rick and Thomas both making their first stop in this Grand Prix after 17 laps. Thomas coming out ahead of Bazooka. Action Rick behind quite far, in fact. The gap between Thomas and Action Rick, those two were battling in the first stint, opened up a lot in the pit stop phase. Now Action Rick is past Bazooka and can start trying to catch up to Thomas, chase after him. Of course, Thomas on that medium. Either a very, very long stint and a lot of tire wear coming the end of the race, or another pit stop coming his way. But either way, I would say strategy advantage goes to Action Rick here. Thomas' track position in turn. And also Thomas with 9 seconds of penalties, Action Rick with 6 seconds of penalties, so he only needs to be within 3 seconds coming out of the Grand Prix, does Action Rick, to beat Thomas. Make that 6 seconds as Thomas gets his next 3-second penalty, now on 4 penalties, 12 seconds of penalties in total. Field now spreading out a little bit, I would say, but we have got a couple of guys to keep an eye out. JM keeping the gap fairly close on himself and Raoul despite the tire disadvantage. He's doing a good job in this race, of course, starting from the bottom of the field after not having done a quali lap. Doing rather well so far. Always, well, with JM's old tires, we reckon he has to make another stop. I would say Always is the main challenger to Raoul in this Grand Prix. Keep an eye on Aussie chasing after Flavors, a 5-lap tire advantage, 3.5 seconds, that gap should come down. Yeah, I would say fairly rapidly. But so far it's actually a bit more stable than I thought it would be. And Action Rick already caught 1.5 seconds to Thomas in the battle for 7th. As he is also gapping Bazooka, of course Bazooka on those old mediums is gonna surely have to make another stop, but at this point Bazooka and Always, which is worth appreciating, the only drivers left in this race, as we are over the halfway point, without a time penalty hanging over the head. Flavors now, just as they take time penalty, gets one. Up to 6 seconds for Flavors. Quite surprisingly, JM is actually getting closer and closer to Ryman as it stands. Despite those old tires, the gap is disappearing fairly quickly, as he is about to break into the 1 second range. JM showcasing that he still has that pace from back then, or at least some of it. In the meantime, Aussie under 3 seconds of Flavors now. But they both have 6 seconds of penalties, so that's not actually particularly relevant. JM, I think, gonna be just about out of the ERS range this lap. Unless he has a mega final sector here. Beautiful heli shot as we go to the stadium. And I think he was just outside there at the detection point. So no DRS for JM this time around. But with another good lap, he will be within DRS range next time. Of course, Ryder's gonna want to prevent that, so he's gonna burn a bit of ERS. Now get a good lap time in and get JM a bit further away. Actionrick is almost caught up to Thomas already. He is absolutely flying right now. That gap was 5 seconds like 2 laps ago, and now we're down to 1.5. Actionrick now within the second of Thomas. Next lap around he'll have DRS coming on towards turn 1. So the battle for 7th very much on now.
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised to see this pace advantage this early in the stint. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Actionrick at some point catches him with the tire advantage, but 5 laps in, it's yeah, interesting.
I mean, he started catching up as soon as he passed Bazooka, really. He was immediately significantly faster, despite the fact that his tires, on paper, I think are worse, surely. 500 volt mediums, 500 volt hards, there shouldn't be much worse on those mediums yet. Akusin, another 3-second time penalty. I think that's him up to 25 seconds now. Yeah. So he's definitely struggling quite a bit with track limits. We've got a crash!
Oh,
Bazooka! And we've got a virtual
vicious.
safety car. Got hyped for no reason. No safety car. That would have been, I think, the quite a fitting start to Division 3 if we had a safety car. And we have full core safety car. It's why? Like a minute after the crash, the car is already gone. Now the safety cars come out, but that spices up the race a lot.
Everyone who picked the harder tire allocation would probably have the best option now.
The words harder tire allocation should not be falling in a Division 3 stream, but you are correct, unfortunately. It is that. It might be that sweaty. But this really spices it up. Bazooka, well, he was, after the crash that he had early on with, well, we don't know if it was with Flavors, but they both were stopped at the same point on track, so I assume it would have been those two crashing into each other. Never really got back into the race. But he has given us a safety car, which I am quite thankful for. Viral in, J in. Of course, I think everyone's going to be in here. You just have no reason to stay out here. Not really much track position to be gained. And the fresh tires will gain you loads of time. Mediums and hards will both easily make the end from here. I think hards would be the fastest tire if you have the choice. Flavors also now taking the opportunity to change that wing that has been damaged since forever.
Always on hards.
I would say that's advantage over. I mean, we saw Actionrick on the hards against Thomas on the mediums. Drivers who I would say seemed fairly close on pace in the first stint. Of course, then it was the other way around in the tires. Where Thomas was on the hards and Actionrick on the mediums. It seems like whoever's on the hards, between those two, is a little bit faster. And Actionrick got another set of hards. Akusin, I think, just served a 10-second penalty, yep. And that's put him behind Thomas. I think he sped in the pit lane last time around. So now he's dropped down to 7th, but he has got that 10-second penalty no longer hanging over his head. So Viral leads from Jay, then Allwise. The only driver left out on track without a time penalty. That will be absolutely crucial. Aussie, Flavors, Thomas, Akusin, and finally Actionrick. Down in 8th position. Tire-wise, we've got Action Rig and Always on the hards, everybody else on the medium. So we can open the penalty graphic, that would be quite relevant, I think. Varel and Jay with 3 each, Aussie and Flavors with 6 each, then Thomas with 12, Akuzin 15, Action Rig once again with 6 seconds. We'll have a 12-lap sprint in, I reckon. I think end of next lap will come in. And it all comes down to those final 12 laps in this Grand Prix. Everyone back together again, all bunched up. Those time penalties, of course, matter even more now. Wonder if Bazooka isn't anything yet. Nope. Radio silence. Phantom says Flavors pole. I've seen enough. D3 has to happen. Flavors might actually just be Division 3's Gary, you know? But like turned up to 11. And I think that's beautiful.
I've just had to stat check when Always was on the podium the last time, or if he ever was on the podium in F1 Total. But as far as I could check, the last time he was the season opener of Div 2 of season 15.
I can't
Because
remember that race.
I thought he never was.
I thought surely I remember an Always podium, but apparently not. Season 15, round 1, that's Australia. I've got nothing. Have to ask Always I got that podium, I guess.
I won that race, but I don't know, I can't remember.
No one knows. Always has a podium, no one knew. Great. Well, safety has been called in, end of lap 24, and Action Rig is out. What?
No!
Why?
Action Rig, what happened?
Was doing so well. That's really, really unfortunate for Action Rig. I'm not sure. I think he's in the lobby actually. He didn't leave, at least didn't see notification, so I no clue what happened there. A great e-start by Aussie. Immediately on the back of Always with a great toe down towards the first corner, but also Always himself with a run on JM, it looks like. Aussie now pulling out the slipstream to the inside of the first corner, braking as late as he dares, and pulls ahead. Of course, Always in the hards has a disadvantage early on, especially those tires be quite cold, and he loses another place to send to Flavors. Who absolutely...
Did Flavors change his wing now?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he changed his wing. And in the traction zone, on those mediums against the hards, with low temperatures, has a big advantage, and absolutely flies past.
A wing flying from Always. Always lost the front right end plate.
And that's gonna put a massive dent. Yeah, left. No, right. Left from if you're okay. From driver's POV, right. And you can tell the understeer as he has to miss the exit of the air section. And that will put a massive dent in his ambitions for the race win here. And is great news if you're Varel or JM who are battling for that race win out on track right now. As Thomas sends it up the inside on Always. Akuzin gets another penalty, now up to 18 seconds. Always trying his best to hold on to at least a couple of positions here. But that's Akuzin, and I think Thomas up next also coming past down the main straight. Always pulls back ahead, but I think he's about to run out of EIS, and then Akuzin and Thomas will come flying back at him. He's gonna hold on just about down towards turn 1. But he is in no way safe with that big wing damage. He's already 3 seconds back from Flavors, Always out of the battle for the race win. I don't even know where he picked that damage up from, but it's completely ruined his race.
From Flavors. He ran at the here in sector 2 where he is right now. He just ran into the back of him and picked up the damage.
So his own fault, really. He just didn't brake.
Probably self-inflicted, yeah.
Yeah, that's well.
Or maybe,
he'll be quite annoyed with
like,
himself with that, I reckon.
Or maybe like, I don't know, the fact where the guys in front of Flavors braked and Flavors braked even more, and yeah.
Now he also has a 3-second time penalty hanging over his head, as he extended track limits at the exit of the S section there for the 3rd time in this race. And that will make, hell, his aim of a good result even more difficult, as Akuzin is absolutely sending it everywhere. Into the last corner he goes. Have we got
JM
DRS for
now
someone?
maybe has a
Akuzin.
run. JM now maybe has a run on DC Viral.
Not just maybe.
Into turn 1.
He sold him the dummy, and I think he fell for his own dummy or something. That was very weird. Akuzin drives past Owais, and I think Thomas might gonna try and follow through after the triple chicane just half the lap. But Akuzin goes really deep, and Owais slips back through. Thomas has to take avoiding action, has a terrible accident because of it. Can't get past. Akuzin now with the DRS. Closing in, closing in, closing in, looking for the inside. And sends it under brakes. Owais leaves him to space. But Akuzin can't get the car really properly into that gap. And he's still gonna be stuck behind for another lap. They are losing loads and loads of time behind Owais, are these two. That damage definitely affecting the Stoner quite a bit. Viral now with another time penalty. Up to 6 seconds. And that puts the race win into JM's hands as it stands. Aussie and Flavors both with 6 seconds as well. So Viral, Aussie and Flavors racing on equal terms in terms of time penalties. JM with the advantage.
And JM has no warning after his 3-second penalty.
Akuzin always once again battling for the final corner. Always now into the pits and finally releases Akuzin and Thomas to actually have a normal battle on their own without someone acting as a, I don't know, moving roadblock really. JM looked for a move into turn 1 against Viral, but he couldn't get the move done in the end. He's still hanging on to P2. With that time penalty that he has got, well, what he hasn't got against Rival, he doesn't actually need to pass him. In fact, you could let Aussie and Flavors go as long as he stays in 3 seconds of Viral. Nothing matters, he's won this race. JM is in a very comfortable position right now. And now Thomas up to 15 seconds of penalties. Akuzin and Thomas definitely risking a disqualification at this point. They are really racking those penalties up. And JM
Yeah,
only...
but I think they have a little bit of rubber to play with. I think, I don't know, 30 plus seconds.
I have to ask Jonathan, he's the expert. And JM once again with a run towards turn 1, I think. This time he looks to be close enough, goes to the outside, pulls ahead, now side by side braking as Viral brakes really late back on the inside. JM though, I think, has he pulled ahead? Viral is still in there, but now once again JM will have DRS, and that should be the move completed. Finally, for the winners, but now is it Viral pushing all of his overtake and a little bit more, as Aussie also has to defend against Flavors, and he does hold on to the 3rd as well. That's the Williams man. Williams now into 1st and 3rd. So these four putting on a very, very good show in the battle for the podium spots. Akuzin has gotten the 3-second range to Thomas that he needs to stay in P5. Thomas all over the place. They're coming out of the... doesn't it happen? I don't know. The slow corner. Loads of traction loss. And JM already almost off the S mentioned Viral. He's really putting the hammer down here. Yellow flags for Thomas. He's spun around in the S section. And that, I think, solidifies Akuzin finishing in 5th place in this Grand Prix. Viral just about holding on to the DRS of JM. Aussie and Flavors lurking in behind. But no one wants to go for any sort of dramatic moves yet. The DRS train being fairly calm, no one forcing it. But especially, I would say, in the battle for 3rd. I don't think Flavors is going to sit back against Aussie. For sure, he's going to want that podium. Not sure if Viral has much of a chance against JM, sadly. JM does seem to have that little bit of pace over him, as he is now out of 1 second. And if he holds that, that is, I would say, the provisional race deciding gap. Unless something crazy happens in here, that is JM winning this race here in Mexico, I reckon. And that also means now, of course, Viral, under pressure from Aussie behind, hasn't got DRS to help him defend. And Aussie will surely take advantage. This Clavers just will hold the 1 second range onto Aussie. Aussie a bit low on EAS though, doesn't have the battery to make him run down towards turn 1 happen. And has to settle in behind for 3rd place for now.
Oh, Viral with a big moment.
And that invites Aussie in. Who now goes up the inside. Late on the brakes, they bang wheels. And Aussie has the outside end for next corner. Viral pushes his way through on the inside and holds on to P2 for the moment. We still got 5 laps to go, 5 more times coming down that massive DRS straight. This fight is far from over. Both Aussie and Flavors are surely gonna want to get involved in that battle for 2nd place quite a bit. JM, 2 seconds clear now with Viral's mistakes there. He is pulled even further away. And a 3-second time penalty to Thomas. He's now also up to 18 seconds. Aussie, he needs more battery. He's not really gaining much with just the DRS, it looks like. Or is he? Whoa!
Oh.
They both move over to the left hand side and Aussie getting a little bit loose.
Yeah, it looks like Viral is starting to struggle on these medium tires because he's sliding around and you can see that, which obviously doesn't help the tires to last for the last 4 laps. They will for sure, but yeah, the cost time and it's not really
Flavors
ideal for him.
with a bit of a moment there coming out of the air section. Just about managed to catch the car again. Almost is caught up in the back of Thomas. He's got a battle for 7th position out on track as well, but of course with 15 seconds of penalties more for Thomas than always, it's formality, as well as a massive tire advantage of only 5 laps actually, to always who's on the fresh softs there. We've got a battle for 2nd place here, unfortunately I can't get away from right now. Always gets a move on Thomas done. Aussie is closing in, has the inside line into the 1st corner. Breaks as late as he dares. Viral tries to hold it around the outside and make lots and lots of contact. And in the end, it is Aussie who comes on top. Viral with a moment out of turn 3 as well. Aussie can now try and break DRS, but of course, Viral doesn't have it yet. Flavors, is he gonna go for the move on Viral? No, plays it safe, plays it conservative, sticks in behind for now. But Viral all over the place on traction there. And Aussie could pull away here. If he uses Viral's mistakes to his advantage and secures that P2. But I think Viral has just about done enough to keep DRS, at least for this small straight. But the big one, the important one of course, is the detection point in the stadium. It decides the DRS for both of those really long straights. Heading into turn 1, heading into turn 4. So it's absolutely crucial to get DRS around here. And Viral has just about managed it. And that means the battle for P2 continues.
It looked like Aussie and Viral just stuck to each other into turn 1 on the previous lap. Because Aussie braked late on the inside. Viral braked as late as Aussie. Which, yeah, just left him with no room to encounter Aussie's attack. Yeah, with Flavor sitting in 4th, he's I don't know if he has the pace to pass these two because, yeah, with Viral having DRS to Aussie,
Aussie
there is.
has thrown away P2.
Oh! Yeah, with another 3-second time penalty. I just want to say because Flavors, there's not much he can do.
Yeah, the DS that Viral has
sit
just
behind.
makes it a bit impossible to get within overtaking range. The dirty air keeping Flavors far away, and the DRS that Viral has nullifying the advantage of Flavors' DRS himself. And it's sort of a impossible scenario for Flavors to get a move on Viral done. Now with Aussie's 9 seconds of penalties, Flavors is onto the podium as it stands. But if he wants to have a go at P2, he needs to pull a bit of magic out of his hat to get past Viral. One more, well, 1.5 laps to go from here. One more go down that long straight for Viral to attack Aussie, for Flavors to attack Viral. The battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Out on track, still on as it stands with time penalties. I'm not sure how many warnings Viral and Flavors have after the second penalty they got. Yeah, as it stands on time penalties, Aussie has already lost to these two unless he were to pull out a 3-second gap on that last lap alone, which is rather unlikely, I'd argue. We've got a yellow flag on the last lap for Akusin, which means he has lost a position to Always as he had a spin in the S section. Always now well within penalty range.
Yeah, Akusin wrote during the safety car in the Discord chat that he forgot to turn up the tire temps after quali. So basically, his mediums are just
overheating everywhere.
Right now. Yeah.
That is definitely a problem.
And if you just go on board with him for like a few corners, you can see him just sliding around everywhere.
Well, Viral didn't manage to get the move on Aussie, or didn't bother to get the move on Aussie. Either way, we've got yellow flags as well for Thomas. But we can go over to JM, who, starting in last place, is going to win this race by 6 seconds on track. If you add the penalties on top, it comes up to over 12 seconds to Viral in 2nd place. One hell of a performance. But I think JM has disqualified himself from Division 3 on his very first outing. Viral on the last lap of the penalty. You massive fraud. Just give him Flavors P2. Unbelievable. And it's JM who wins this race, and I would say probably it's the one and only race in Division 3. Considering the pace he has just shown, unbelievable. 7 seconds on track to Aussie as they go over the line, which will turn into a 10-second gap to Flavors in the results. Aussie gets P3, Viral P4, Flavors with one hell of a result for himself, I would say. He can be quite happy with that. Always a good comeback at the end to get P5, and yeah, Akusin, considering the oh my god, yeah, Formula Drift over here. I see the problem. Honestly, the fact he finished the race, unbelievable. And then finally, we have got Thomas coming home for P7. Action Rig and Bazooka DNF. Bazooka crashing out on track. Action Rig, I'm not retired under the safety car. I'm still not quite sure why. Did he message anything in the end? I didn't see it, but I'll just check once again. I don't think there was anything said about that. Nope, nothing said. Flavors apologized to Bazooka, so I guess he killed him. But that was the first ever test race of Division 3. Of course, a bit of a small grid, so it wasn't the most exciting race ever. But I would say it was a good test. We saw good battles. We saw what we want to see from Division 3. Some interesting strategies playing out over the course of the race. We actually saw a safety car, which is unheard of for some reason in F1 Total nowadays. Yeah, enjoyable race for sure. I had some fun with that. I hope you did as well, viewers and Sully.
It was a very exciting race. Yeah, as you said earlier, a small grid, but it will get better for sure from when the actual test races start. Because yeah, this was we posted the attendance list on Sunday evening. So yeah, but it was a even though we only had 9 drivers, it was a fun race to watch and commentate.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely a good sign I think for Division 3 that we've had a good early test race here, quite close in the battle for the podium spots. Flamers, Aussie, Viral always would have been in there for sure as well. Um, yeah, the only thing I would say is I think we can probably take JM out of the division after that performance. He hasn't lost much since he's been away. I mean, I will still talk about it in the division for sure, but at least that's my feeling right now, and I think you agree, right?
Yeah, I would. eh, As of now, I would just wait. I wouldn't say right away after one race he's way too good. Because there are some other guys who come in contention for the upper places. But yeah, he's probably established himself to be one of the guys to beat, probably.
Yeah, it's a fair point. I mean, we've got some test races to go, so you make a good point. Maybe not act too early, but for sure, JM, yeah, a very, very good pace show today. And of course, a good sign for tomorrow also. The Division 2 race in Mexico coming up. We saw guys, Flavors was, I think, quite fast for his level. I think he can expect to do well tomorrow. Viral, of course, was in the lead for most of the race. Always was running quite well. Aussie picked up a podium. And JM, I mean, well, the obvious one, JM winning by over 10 seconds with only, what, like 12 laps after the safety car. Um, so definitely some things to learn for tomorrow. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Thank you very much for
Is
watching.
he
Thank you
is
very much
he
for
is he racing? Is he racing in Div 2?
who, Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the main driver. He has Aston Martin. So unless he
Oh
messages
yeah.
that he's dropping out, he's gonna be racing
Sure.
tomorrow.
Okay. Nice to see him back.
So he's scared.
I am.
To be fair, if he wins the race, people can't take as many points off your lead anymore. Well, your lead is gone. Never mind. It's down to 10 points.
I mean, I'm still in the lead technically.
You could use that win yourself at this point.
Yeah. I probably yeah.
Yeah, but that's something to talk about for tomorrow. Yeah, thank you very much for joining me. It was good to have a co-commentator for this one. I think alone this could have been quite a pain with that smaller grid. But yeah, nonetheless enjoyable, and like we said, a good sign early on for Division 3. Next week, we've got the second test race, this time with more yeah, notice for the drivers, so maybe we'll see actually a few more drivers able to make it. The Chinese Grand Prix, of course, coming up as round 16 in F1 Total. But for now, of course, we also have the Division 2 Mexican Grand Prix tomorrow and on Saturday, and then next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, China. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Have a good evening, and goodbye.